Sokola buno twade tukutadde eno kalitaha. Yes. No, go look at there and pass it. Are we good to go? Is this one supposed to be up to you like this was supposed to be?
Somebody wants to assassinate the president.
Colleagues, good morning.
Good afternoon.
It's already good afternoon. I'm sorry. Today's PESA is very special. It is the first PESA ever since the year began, ever since we had a selection, not an election, happening. And today's PESA is special in the way that it will be presented to you by our party national leaders. First of all, we apologize for the delay because of matters beyond our control. We are addressing this press conference beyond the time that we communicated. We are very sorry for that, so bear with us. Colleagues, before you, we have our party leader, the Honorable Engineer Patrick Boy, is flanked by our presidential candidate, who doubles as the Secretary General of the party, Member of Parliament for Udadi County West, Chairman of Isu Cooperative Union, the Right Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafari, is also flanked by, and also the party leaders behind, seeing the party national vice chairperson, Honorable Jamal Abdallah Wante, the Member of Parliament for Soroti City Division West, the Honorable Gualu Jonathan. I've seen our former flag bearers, Reverend Jackson Magombe, who carried our flag for Budadi County West constituency, Sironko district. I've seen our former flag bearer for Bungoko Central, Mr. BMW Ben Matimwana. And I've seen also the former parliamentary woman candidate for Sironko district, the Honorable Fiona Banga Nafuna, and many other leaders who are gracing this PESA. Today's PESA, we are giving an accountability of what transpired in the 2026 presidential, parliamentary, and local government elections, which is ending tomorrow. And without wasting a lot of time, because you have already waited for us, allow me to invite our Mbale, the person who led us in this exercise, the person whom we entrusted with the mandate to carry our flag countrywide, none other than the Right Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafari, to lead us in this expedition. After him, we shall invite the party president, and thereafter our party national chairman to stand before. Mr. President, Karibu.
Thank you very much, my brother Warid, who is our deputy spokesperson for the party. First and foremost, we want to thank the people of the Fourth Estate for making time to be with us here today, and also to thank you, those who participated with us from the day we started on 29th, not on 24th, of nomination. We moved on 29th or 24th of September when I was nominated as a candidate, and traversed the whole country until we concluded the campaign on 13th of January 2026. And also thank the team I had, because I had a team which I moved with in the whole country, and I want to thank them with my total heart. Thank you so much for being there with me. It wasn't an easy journey because our roads are bad. We went in an environment which was not good. We slept on ways. We got stuck in car and water, muddy roads. While one of the candidates was using public resources, was busy flying up there, and even using public resources to run the campaign. Well, for us, we fought on our own. And I want to say thank you very much, my team. I also want to thank the people we visited in all those villages. I know the country with my team in and out. I've been in the countryside for many years, as you're aware. I've been in campaigns since 2001 when I campaigned through the former general campaign for Dr. Biesige, 2006 for Dr. Biesige, 2011 for Dr. Biesige, 2016 for Dr. Biesige, 2021 for my brother, big brother, Amriat. Now it was myself. So I've been in the whole country, but I've been there. I've seen everything. I have learned much. So I want to thank all the people we met in those villages and the welcome they gave us. And we also want to take this opportunity to thank all those who voted for us. Thank you so much. And those who never voted for us, also thank you. You know the reason why you never voted for us. And those who cheated us, you know what you did. We also wish you well, and we pray to God. He's the only one who can redeem, who can pay you if you don't have capacity. And also say, as a country, we need each other. And because of that, there are so many things we need to look through. As I stated, I want to thank my chairman of the party, who was my chairman of the campaign bureau, Honorable Jack Sabit, for being there for me for the entire period of this campaign. Jack Sabit, we met when I was a civil servant. We knew one another as a young man. I grew up in his hands. I have respect for him. He has mentored me in politics. Now, until now, where I've been up to date. I thank my brother Ingeni Amrat, who has been my brother for the last over 30 years. We met when we were young men. All of us coming from different, was coming from engineering side. I was coming from government, Ministry of Finance. We met and we've been here and we became brothers for over 30 years. And I think we have shown to each other that we shall never abandon each other. And I think this is a ceremony vote decision we have taken. We believe we shall live together up to the end. At this election, we also want to thank the Ugandans who came out to vote. And of course, you are aware, according to Electoral Commission, only 10 million voted. That means 11 million never register, or if not a right register, whether there's a problem why there's a voter turn-up which was of that nature. Is there apathy? Are there But of course, what we have done as an investigation, we have discovered most of the opposition who said even if you go and vote, the results are already predetermined. Of course, we would get calls here and say, Nandara, whether you move or what, you have been already allocated. Of course, I am aware I was allocated the 1.88%, which I feel it is not my genuine vote, but that's what I was allocated. I came here at the homecoming, it was a talk, everybody came. When I went to look around in the whole region, I walked in all areas in the mountains. I can tell even in the, coming from my home to reach Sinoko, I reached after 10 p.m. because the people could not allow. So what happened? If those were the people who were supposed to vote, what happened? So I can tell you that's why I was saying the election has been mad with a lot of problems, and we believe that unless we pull up our socks, this electoral commission is just one of those tools which is used by the regime to legitimize their stay in power until death. I hear people saying Museveni was getting his 7th term. No, 45 years it means he's getting his 9th what? Term. Because every term is 5 what? 5 years. So a leader to be there for 45 years, he makes institutions not to operate. It makes us really not feel bad. All of you know the Electoral Commission is just a tool. I can tell you if Electoral Commission wasn't a tool, we would have really had a fair and a free election. Why? They came and lied us that the BVVK system they have brought is going to remove people that multiple voting, it is going to stop rigging, the right people are going to vote. And all of you know what happens. There is no law, but they made a regulation. On the day of voting, something you have spent over $70 million. $70 million. If you change in Ugandan currency, that is over 200, almost 300 billion shillings, a taxpayer's money. And a man on the day of voting, they say the machine is not what? Working. If Museveni was a serious leader, Yamukama would have been in prison. In fact, it would be a firing squad, that is committing murder. But what happened is that because it is done for him, no action is being taken. Nobody is questioning what happened. And by 7, no machine was working. At 8:30, between 8 and 8:30, they declared that people should vote because we were delaying the process. I will give an example. In Bukedia, by 10, they had finished voting. Thrown my agents out, thrown parliamentary agents, ticked the ballot papers, DSOs, ESOs, PSOs, GSOs, military, police were all involved in this process of the rigging in the whole country. And that's why we're saying, was this an election? I want everybody to question himself, was this an election? That clearly shows this is just a process where the NRM was looking for putting themselves in the office illegally, but everybody has said this is not a legal what? Legal position they have taken. Of course, as FDC, we managed to get 9 MPs, which is not right. And these are things we are saying, well, we allocated 9 MPs, the local government were thrown out many, we have a few, but we are here, the country, Uganda is ours. All leaders come, leaders go, there's no permanent situation, and we believe we will be really work out many of these things. As FDC, we know what happened. I have brought here documents for you, which I'm going to share, showing you how the process was there mad with bribery. The Electoral Commission saw the money and nobody stopped the process. You are aware we have all these documents which I'm going to share with you, which are properly dated. And if I can read for you so that you understand, it is one of those elections all of you should get concerned. There was a circular dated 28th November, which is talking about facilitation in respect of parish-based grassroots mobilization. Money came to villages. Every village got 630,000, and most villages in Uganda, if I want to tell you, we have 72,000 villages, have about 20 to 30 people. 20 to 30. Nobody should lie you. If you get maximum, might be 40. Each was giving 630. They were being given lunch each 2,000. If you multiply that, about 760. If there are 20 people, that means each of them got about 38,000 shillings. Already that's bribery. That was the circular number 1. And everybody paid. On the same day, they brought another circular. Circular number, you know they are not good at naming circulars because they are poor at that. District entry meetings for grassroots. Again, the money came in, flew from venue 500,000 for venues, go up to the villages. All this came again. We are going to give you all this so that you see what it means with this country of yours. Oh no, you know when you want to put a case, you must have data. And that's why I'm here with data. On 4th December, they issued another circular. Here it is. It is saying first batch release of facilitation in respect again of parish because they had done the other one of 20. Here it is. First batch. These are things you want to know. Then from there we come on 11th December. Facilitation of village grassroots. Mobilization, again with the money, new money, you will get a village getting 300,000 for mobilization, 300,000 for motorcycles, 300,000 for the elderly, 300 for special groups. Here you are. Yamukama was saying this. That is on 11th. On 10th January, another circular comes with the money. Here it is. Materials for mobilization district drives. Now here you see, again the money coming out. Oh, yeah, there it is. You have all the copies. I'm going to give them to you so that you see the Mukamanda, the NRM. Again, every village was being given 300,000 to guide the voters. Every village was getting T-shirts. Every village was having drives in the parishes. Again, special interest groups. Another 600,000 is going to every village. Those are there. Again, on that was on 11th. They issue another circular. They are allocating more money in the banks on 11th from the national treasury. Here it is. More money is out. Again, the same money, 600,000 is going out. That is on 11th. We want to give you that so that you know that what we went through. On the 13th. No. This again on 11th. Sorry, this again on 11th. Facilitation to the village baraza meetings and mobilization drives. Again, and this is your tax. Barazas are here. The rural villages per village, they are saying for Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono at 3 p.m. These are barazas. But for others, they are giving you every village, the money is here. Every village again 300,000. There are drives, there's special group, and they are calling it holding the countrywide village meetings. Barazas, Ekugwana, Kuchoka, Wagoze, Okuza, Eheo, Ekoko, I don't know. There are many languages. They are mentioning it. Here it is. Again, here every village was getting about 900,000. That was on what? 11th. On the 13th, here they are coming now what we call facilitation for vote protection. Facilitation for vote protection. I hope you all get it. You read it. 3 polling agents, 2 official polling agents, and 1. Then the facilitation for coordinators. Then the facilitation for operation work expression. Then facilitation for parish registers. Then sub-counter chairs. Then vote protectors, 3 people per polling station. And then district polling agents. For 13 members of DEC. But of border borders, high of border borders per village. We have facilitation for NRM village finance sector to pick the money from sub-counties. From sub-counties to pick from the district. Hard to reach areas. Transport to bank, banker charges. All these are here, and this is how they're facilitating. Every polling agent was supposed to get 50,000. So 3 is 150. Parish was supposed to get 100. All these are here, where Electoral Commission was saying. So, they are here. Those are the few I've touched. Now, an election mad with money from treasury, and the people seeing money, and the Electoral Commission not acting. It shows Electoral Commission is a tool for the NRM to do this process. So that's why we are questioning ourselves. Is it necessary for people to continue in elections in Uganda at this rate? Is it necessary? Is it necessary because the security vote, tick ballot papers, people are beaten, people are done? Is it necessary to go to election, or we just abandon it? So these are things you need to know as Ugandans. We really, the election never took place. Electoral Commission rigged from day one for the ruling party. That's why Museveni was able to get 71.65% allocated, and he claims they cheated him. You are aware to show that this is the most useless, hopeless, corrupt Electoral Commission. You have nominated the people. You remember 17 members of parliament were disqualified to allow NRM to go and what? And oppose. Surely, somebody has nominated me, has seconded me, is my official agent. At that, why should he be removed? You come and say, oh, this one said they forged the secretary. Yet on the nomination, the seconders were there. The official agent was there. Why didn't you say these are not allowed? Oh, these are missing in the register. But they are there at the time of verification. 17. I've now heard that now they're opening boxes and accounting. You have seen the fake declaration by a certain bank, yet other boxes had no votes. Yet when the opposition goes for a count, they are saying we have no what? No mandate. When the other ones go, you have the what? Standards. Really make us feel bad. And there is where it said the mandatory count, if the votes are below 50 and below, that's mandatory recount. Why is the Electoral Commission not accepting to do the recounts where it is mandatory? Because they don't want to declare the opposition. How? What type of independent Electoral Commission? This should be called Independent Electoral Commission for the NRM. And this is a clear indicator that we Ugandans who believe we're going to go for an election, I don't know what you're going to do. Ballot staffing was the order of the day. The security was involved from day one up to the end. Transparent. Why should the internet be what? Shut down. And none of you have raised that. We have been keeping quiet to see that some of you would raise. They have over 1,500 people in that. All of them take NRM. That's why Honorable Mbale had to lose an election. He had won an election by over non-existent people. All NRM ticked votes. When they even said we have agents, even the agents look ticked what? These are the law we passed. The election polling session are supposed to be in the open, not in the closed what? Places where everybody has been success. The register must be verified. Remember, we created the register where people did the exercise, I think in May, April, May. Now, these people they are talking who are coming now in January are coming there recently. That means they were already on a polling station. When did they? These are things we want Ugandans to really look around. In Chikaramoja, in Kanyumu, Kanyumu County, where my boss comes from, you know what happened? They went and threw everybody. They beat people and started taking a ballot stuffing. Everywhere, ballot stuffing. You go on the table, a person is given a agents which were there were all compromised agents. And why would the Electoral Commission accept such a process? Because they are the ones who tick, they hand over to people already ticked. Why would you allow people to be chased at polling stations? Why would you allow army to come here? These are things we need to look at as a country if we are supposed to do it. Of course, we had our own problems during election, and we ate tear gas. We in Hamudat, in Karamoja, in Moroto, in Kagadi, mention it. But we feel that if an election was supposed to be an election, Electoral Commission should have been that all of us are accorded fairness in the process. So we had a military operation in Mkede, I've told you, in Maokoto, South, where our chief whip comes from, Honorable Yusuf Sibambi. All of you know by the time they had already ticked the results. Then there was a fortifying of results. There is a declaration form which is different. They come here, they're doing another declaration form. In Kasese, that was a military operation. You are aware the NRM candidate Mzee Museveni had finished election, but he had to go back to go under command so that they can rig in Kasese. It shows that this country is in problems, and we expect even worse things to happen. So the terror centers were managed by NRM. Those officials were there, the district returning officers are basically working for the NRM. So we want to say that this election, if we wanted to really see an election, we would have seen a better one. Even of Nigeria, that is called the man Jonathan Goodluck. He may ask the question, and I want to go, yes, why should the government shut down the internet? Why should you suspend human rights groups? Why should you deploy military? Observers be not allowed to go to certain areas where the opposition was very strong because they are going to rig, and be allowed to go to others? Why would civil society to the population? And of course, the observers also raised concern about the inconsistent application of electoral laws. Lack of comprehensive campaign financing regulation is cohorts. Otherwise, it does not have even a single or a small iota to be called an election. That's where we come in. We have been here, we have carried data, we have done investigation, we have done reports. This is what we shall deal with at another appropriate time. So from the full product which was being sold, and the candidate selling it was coming with experience to implement that manifesto. Unfortunately, it wasn't taken on. But is it necessary to continue with elections? I think that's what we put to our party and other people who are political players in the country. Is it necessary for us to continue with this election with a man called Byamukama, who is a partisan as the chairman of the Electoral Commission? Is this yet an independent election commission? And you recall, Amama Mbale has raised a lot of things during his petition in 2026. No, 2016. These have never been implemented because what Amama raised in his petition, if they were implemented, they would have really changed the course of election in Uganda. Why has the Supreme Court recommendations not being implemented? Why is campaign finance? Don't regulate campaign financing as a country. We are bent doomed because everybody will use all our resources and will be elected. Some who have access to government coffers, like the incumbent, definitely they will carry them. And the government coffers are your taxes. And I want to tell Uganda, you must prepare. We are really having it rough. Tighten your belts. Inflation is going to go high. The prices of goods are going to go high. Taxation is going to be increased. And all of you, your income is not going to be increased, but it's going to be decreased. Yet you need goods and services, which are more expensive. And that means you're going to move from the higher, that indifference curve you are in, difference in that curve you are on, where you're a bit maybe not even okay, to even a worse curve. And I am saying, get prepared. Theft is going to increase, robbery is going to increase, criminality is going to increase because of poverty. People cause a lot of criminality. And be ready. You're going to see petty thieves. You're going to see robberies. So when you have a phone, maybe you may have to find a way how to carry it. If you have a money pass, carry it well. So do we agree in this? Totally. Because it's flawed, it is corrupted, it has no fairness, and this is one of the reasons we said this election was not an election. The wide irregularities which you have seen are too many. And as a party for us, we want to make a commitment that all our people who are going to court, that parliamentary or local government, to really try to use the already corrupt court. If they can, we have our support. We will support our candidates. We shall support any other, even if those who are to be chairman of electoral commissions. This one should be really be thrown out immediately. If Mzee Museveni wants to show anything, he's also saying they cheated him. He would have got 80%. That shows those are double standards. This commission should be disbanded and be reconstituted. Also, we have people who have been arrested. Our colleagues in our FDC and other parties. This should be unconditionally be released because they have committed no crime. They have committed no crime. You have already robbed your election. Why do you keep them in what? In prison. Kindly release them. For us as FDC, we shall continue with the struggle to ensure that Uganda is totally have free country for all of us. And this struggle will be a plan which a party is going to take action. And we want to tell you that we are still in the struggle in this to ensure that Uganda, we have total freedom for all citizens of Uganda. And as a party also, we're going to start building our party from grassroots up to the top, so that this will culminate in the National Delegates Conference of 2028. We want to call on those who want offices, that 2028 is not far, it's only 2 years from now, that you can have an election at leadership. We are going to, of course, cooperate with all pro-democratic formations, and of course, as also individuals who are also interested in the total liberation of the country, of our country, Uganda, because we have only one country. And on this, I want to call on our colleagues. We want to embrace unity and diversity, and in pursuit for a better Uganda for all of us. Of course, about election, I've mentioned, is it necessary to continue an election in this process? That's where we ask all the Ugandans to talk about. On a positive note, I'm now going to preach. I'm going to teach a Bible and the Quran. People in the country, in Uganda and the whole world. So whoever wants to know about the Quran and the Bible, I am here. On a positive note. It's also my time to think about what I've missed as an individual. But I want to thank the people of Daddy West who gave me an opportunity to be a member of parliament for 25 years. I want to thank them and never take it for granted. Without them, maybe FDC would not have made me a presidential flag bearer. Also, I want to thank all of you who have been there for me in my ups and downs. Finally, we stand with all Ugandans to demand even integrity, by the way, and justice. We want to ask the courts to be courts, not to be kangaroo courts, not to be another annex for the NRM. One Uganda. course, this is Nandala, Afabi, Nathan James.
And thank you, colleagues, members of the protest for your kind attention. Allow me.
And so just in case there's an event that requires a by-election at the level, I hear murmurs and laughter. Nandala Mafabi presented the best manifesto. He went to little villages and towns preaching this manifesto. And I believe if it hadn't been for foul play that he has so eloquently talked about, this country would be blessed with a leader who would raise the level of our citizens from what it is to the next level. The president has talked about the flaws in the election. I am not going to repeat this. Going forward, the party is going to sit down and we are going to produce our own comprehensive report that will form part of the documents that will rewrite history in this country. What James Nathan Nandala Mafabi has just stated is not coming from nowhere. Actually, the statement by the African Union Mission, led by Goodluck Jonathan, His Excellency, merely reinforces what we political players in the field observed and experienced. And therefore, my call to the international community is that this report should not just remain on paper gathering dust. We would like to see an honest conversation, honest debate happening at the level of these missions, so that the African Union and the other observer missions and the other global organizations are seen not just as a lame duck coming to conduct tours in elections, but as groups that can guide African countries towards achieving true democracy. And so we are very proud about what we have said, because we know this is the truth. Secondly, and just as a point of reinforcement, in the entire political history of this country, the level of transactional politics in the election of 2026 is unprecedented, where votes were bought at the rate of between 10 and 50,000 shillings, even in villages, is a great shame to the nation of Uganda. I am sure wherever Mr. Museveni sits, he's not going to be proud of the so-called victory, the 72% that they claim belongs to them. These members of parliament elect who bought their way to parliament should be ashamed about what they did. And therefore, I dare to say, let not NRM go home thinking they are dusted on account of this election. Our struggle to liberate this country, including other forms, which may not be an election, and the presidential player has been very clear. The question that we'll be begging is, should we go to the next election for much of the same to happen? Is an election a way for us to bring change to this country? This has been a debate going on for decades within the FDC. This debate will continue even as we face the next election. Within the party, we shall determine whether we will participate in the next election or not. That is again for the chairman of the party to guide us on. But we want to say we are not yet done. Nobody should make any mistake about this. We are going to fight for justice in our country. We are going to fight for reforms in our country. We are going to fight for a better Uganda. Even if we are not in the presidency, will not be in the presidency of this country, we will only have 9 members of parliament in the next parliament. We will bring the presidency to check. We are also going to put the parliament of this country to spotlight so that it is not turned into a money-making business, an enterprise where people go and cut deals and forget about the population that they represent. This, you know, the FDC is known for fighting. And this election has revived our fighting spirit. And so we want to say to whomever chooses to listen to us that beginning after NEC, which may take place in 1 month's time, we are going to redefine the cause of our struggle to liberate Uganda. I will leave it at that and pass the baton back to our friend, the communications person. But also before I do that, just convey our thanks to you, members of the Fourth Estate, who have suffered with us, actually have been maimed in the process. Some have even died. We would like to urge you to continue with the fight. Do not leave it to only politicians, some of whom are bogus politicians, as we saw in the election. Do not leave it to common citizens of this country. Walk the talk. Walk your assigned mandate. The Fourth Estate, that expression is loaded. It's really upon you to offload whatever is in it and play a role as a citizen of this country. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that update. And colleagues, this election was led by a civil politician, man of high stature, former member of parliament for Chiga County, and that was then Kabale district, now Chiga district. He's now the party chairman, the Honorable Jack Bakaina Sabit. Mr. Chairman.
Our candidate, and the candidate that I think you are still our candidate and you continue to be our candidate until such a time. Since we are still looking at the whole environment, you never know what may happen tomorrow. Our president of the party and the Fourth Estate, thank you for coming to listen to what the party FDC thinks about these elections. The Forum for Democratic Change fully participated in the recently concluded national general election in Uganda, and the same party will continue to conclude the entire process. We are not stopping here. Elections are still going on. despite what my colleagues have talked about. We want to conclude so that at the end of it all, the party will come out with certain decisions. As we reflect on the outcome, FDC intends to engage in comprehensive stakeholder consultations to assess the situation and gather insights. We want to know, because we haven't got all the information. The party's National Executive Committee will be summoned. It's not only me and my colleagues, but the whole party will be summoned to deliberate on our strategies and the best way forward, including a thorough review of our future participation in the elections. That means we three cannot decide for the party. It is the party. We have structures of the party, the National Executive, and the National Delegates Conference that can direct us what to do or not what to do. Finally, we call upon all Ugandans to turn out in big numbers tomorrow, the 4th, February 2026, for sub-county and division council elections, much as we know that these elections don't mean a lot. We know what is going to happen. My colleagues have already talked of what has happened. But don't give up. Particularly you, the Fourth Estate, please follow up, because what you get out may help us. In the event, for example, a Ugandan goes to court or comes up with something different. Therefore, come in big numbers tomorrow, 4th February 2026, for subsequent and division council elections. Vote FDC candidates. And I want to emphasize this. You have not tested other parties. You tested DP, you tested UPC, when some of you were very young, you can remember. But you have not tested other parties to know how they can manage this country. And FDC is one of those parties, if given a chance, that they can make a difference. So please, come up and support our candidates, mayors, councillors. All these need your help. What those, what they have eaten, the money they have splashed, any animal has splashed a lot of money, you eat that one, but now, at least at that lower level, be decent, eat that money, but go and vote the right person in the right office. Because the lower structures mean a lot to us. This is crucial for grassroots mobilization and service delivery. Let's get the numbers. I know it will be tough. FDC commits itself to support our candidates in these remaining elections. So please don't let them down, those who vote from this area. Don't let us down as we are let down. I have a clear belief, because I have known all the candidates who stood. From President Museveni, because I worked with him for a long time. When we were in UPM, you should remember, we are founding members. All those that have become the presidents and leaders of this country, we still believe that Nanda Ramafabi has a chance to lead this country. And to give him that chance, please be involved in these lower level structure, lower level structures. LC1, LC2, LC3 councillors. We need those. And as you have heard from my president, we are going to move in the field, start afresh to make sure that we are not caught unaware. With this, I thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your preliminary guidance and direction. The Honorable National Chairman has directed that the National Executive Committee will sit honestly to craft a comprehensive direction of the party. So, dear colleagues, members of the fourth estate, stay tuned. We shall be updating you the comprehensive plan for the party. Our dear the presidential candidate, for the interest of our Uganda audience, kindly allow it happen for to translate in Uganda, such that the Uganda audience can also get a bite. Abo sessions is a in Uganda through presidential candidate.
Maybe take some questions first.
No, questions will come after.
No, maybe
they will come after the Uganda session. Just give them. They will come after Uganda. Allow it to happen. Karibu, Mr. President.
Then you bring the test of question.
Absolutely. I'm happy about this.
I'm not understanding why my spokesperson wants me to speak Luganda. Then every tribe is going to ask for me to speak in their language. Even those in the Bugis are going to say speak in what? But for the sake of it, Wanga Baganda, Bugisu bajja wano baleeta wano kakungulu n'atufuga n'atugamba egaali ye enywa amata kumbe ye mwennyini yanooto tusooka eno okutwala omukisa guno okwebazamu mwenna abamemba ba fourth estate abo bonna be tutambudde nabo ku lugendo luno twatandika nga 24 mu mwezi gw'omwenda mpadde omukisa okwesimbawo nga presidential candidate wa Forum for Democratic Freedom. Njagala kwebaza abo bonna be natambula nabo bonna mu Uganda, ebitundu byonna bye twagendamu okubonaabona twayitamu naye paka ne tumalako. Omanyi olugendo lwatandika nga 24 mwezi gw'omwenda twakomekereza nga tumala okulonda nga 15 mu January. Njagala kwebaza abo bonna abampa obululu bwabwe, neyanziza mwebala okuneesiga, naye tumanyi nti obululu buno walimu engeri nnyingi kubba obululu n'otuwa ebiwandiiko etwita figures ezitali ntuufu. Of course nina okwebaza abo n'abo abanyima akalulu kaabwe bamanyi ensonga lwaki tebakampa n'abo batubba nabo tubawa omukisa Katonda y'anaabasalirawo kyokola. The percent ebampa ye percent si yange mwenyewe mukimanyi wemba wano n'abantu bangi wali wano ne homecoming mwalaba abantu bajja ntambudde muno mu kitundu muno nga buli muntu agamba agenda kumpaka naye bibavaamu ndowooza mukimanyi akalubu kano kalimu obubbi kalimu engulirira okugulira obululu ng'obolaba poti gye mbawadde sente ze NRM ze yajja mu gavumenti mu treasury negabira buli mu kyalo ojja kwesanga nga kyalo kimu akalulu ogenda okugwako katute millioni ziyita millioni nga 4 ate millioni nga 4 ezo mu kyalo mulimu abantu nga 2 kikulaga nti buli muntu yafuna sente ziyita mitwalo nga 2. Ekyo kisooka ate okunaku olwasembayo mu kulonda agenti baabwe babawanga emitwalo 5 buli agenti yaabwe yali ku polling station baali 3 mitwalo 3 akola mobilization ate zino zonna zatandika okuzujja mu village zaffe okutandika nga 28 mu November omwezi gw'okubiri kikulaga nti electoral commission yaffe tekyasobola ne Mukama tasobola kubanga amateeka gagamba akalulu tolina okuteekamu sente sikugulirira. Ekikulaga nti bino byali pulaani okuviira ddala ku lunaku olwasooka. Bwe Mukama yatulimba aleese ebyuma bye bayita BVVK machines ezigenda okugyawo abantu okubba akalulu, ezigenda okola bayisaawe emu y'okumakya ebyuma tebikola. Ekyo waleetedda kyetwateekamu miliyoni ziyita $7 biliyoni 3 omwezi omusolo ne bigaana okukola. Kati ku ssaawa 2 ne bagamba abantu batikinge bakose regesi nti ebyuma bigenda kukola nebitakola. Embuzi, abasirikale okumakinga okutikinga obululu, okuteeka mu bokisi nga bwe bayagala, Kasese babba bubbi, Wayi ne Kanyumu babba musanvu, ba opposition babajjamu. Ani abajjamu electoral commission? Sekenda sigini kyaganye ayaganye. Nominator aganye. N'ekiseera ekibuuza kuno kwe kuganye. N'ekiseera ekibuuza kuno kwe kulonda. Amagye abantu aba human rights temubakiriza, aba human rights temubakiriza, civil organization temubakiriza, opposition temukiriza okutambula. Emundu mukosa live naffe mu campaign mwajjukira yeka amuda live naffe mu campaign mwajjukira yeka amuda teyo kagadi mukamoroto teyo kagadi mukamoroto batukuba tyagaasi ne bakuba amasasi n'emmotoka batukuba tyagaasi ne bakuba amasasi n'emmotoka za federal naye yatambulira wamuyita mutya, mweteekewo mwilinde mwesibe, ebintu bigenda kulinnya, emisolo gigenda kulinnya, ebintu bigenda kulinnya, emisolo gigenda kulinnya, embeera egenda kubeera wano embi, embeera egenda kubeera wano embi, n'obubbi bugenda kweyongera. Bino ffe tugamba bino ebyokulonda byavaamu tetubikiriza dda wadde katono bweka, kuba kino kikyali okulonda. Era ndowooza naye bw'omulaba olabira ddala omubbi yatambula. Amama Mbabazi election ya 2026 yagenda mu kooti, Supreme Court negamba bakole reform balina okuba kuddamu okububaga ba electoral commission. Babala bwa NRM ne bubeera bwa opposition tebakkiriza. Ekyo kikulaga double standardism. Abantu be bakwata abali ba politicians abantu bali benyigira mu byobufuzi mubakwate mubate bw'omusango gwali wali oyagala kuyitawo n'oyitawo mu ngeri yo. Kati bw'oba sikijja kuba mu kulwana kuno paka tulabe ti Uganda yonna yaffe ffenna nga tonyumelezaamu. Tugenda kuzimba pate yaffe nga twetegekera National Delegates Conference. Ffe tuli ready okukolagana n'abo abaagaliza Bannayuganda okuba mu ddembe eddungi, okubeera n'ensi yaffe ng'ennungi, watali effe yenna yawandiikira Katonda okumuzaala wano. Ffenna twesanga wano, tulina okubeera wano n'alaba nti Uganda yaffe eri ye Uganda ffenna tukyayagaliramu. Nga bwe nkyogeddeko, ekiseera kino kye ngenda okola, ngenda kusomesa Bayibuli ne Korani. Mwagala okusoma, ndwana ngenda kubasomesa bino abensi eno bwetambula. Mwebala nnyo okumpuliriza. One Uganda, one people, one people.
Everybody knows several presidential candidates who are up there.
Two questions. Question number one, presidential candidate noted to members that they have
Intervene on that. Do you still trust the courts in Uganda? In our political history as an organization, and so my presidential candidate is right to fold his arms and said, we are laying all the evidence bare, so wait for what we shall do other than going to a court that is appointed by the same government that has stolen the election.
In short, this is also a court. The public is a what? A court. So we are in the public court.
That President Museveni overwhelmingly, and the NRM of course, overwhelmingly won.
I participated in the campaigns with the Right Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi everywhere he went in Bukisu. everywhere he went in Teso, parts of Busoga, parts of the north. And clearly, the level of enthusiasm was through the roof, especially in his native Bugisu. Name it, whether you were in South Bugisu or in North Bugisu. In fact, the second last engagement here is when people walked from Budadiri. They were not paid to do that. All the way through Simukona, ending up in Soronko town in the night without relenting. Thousands of people turned up. And you want me to believe that those people were paid to do that? We didn't pay them to do that. The president cited the homecoming here. That cricket ground was full of people. Ask Babakama where those votes went. So there was fraud here. Reckless fraud. Just to try to annihilate the name of Nathan Nandala Mafabi in Bugisu. You can't remove it. You can't. Whatever tricks you want to use to attempt this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen in Teso. Time for these crooks will come to an end when they no longer have power. And that is our determination. We won't surrender our country. We will not. We'll continue the push. And as I said, whether we are in government or not.
If you have no job, you need food, you need where to sleep, you need water, you need clothes. What will you do if you don't have? And you're energetic. And the people are more energetic than Honorable Jack Sabit. Wait, you will see, I'm not a prophet of doom. I studied. That's why I said I come here with a plan to create jobs so that crime goes what? Down. You even study. I want to tell you, all the crimes which are created basically because of poverty. Are you telling us we are better off? The economy of Uganda is not in the hands of Uganda. It's in the hands of foreigners. So when you talk about economic growth, it is not growing in Uganda. I think we are trying to play in where I know most. It's not in Uganda, it is with the foreigners. So when the economic growth is not within the citizens, that means the citizens are in a poor state. Now, what will they say? They will try to survive, fight for survival for the fittest. What are these? I am energetic, I need food. It is there, I will grab it. So I'm not a prophet of doom. This is simple analysis, simple economics. Now you pick money and treasury. You bring it in an electoral commission. This money not backed up with production. Now I'm coming to that. The moment there are sources which have left the system without backed up production, then that means you have put more money of supply, the cash supply in the market. Yeah? And when there is more money in supply without backed up production, that means there will be a lot of money. No, you have answered yourself. Now why are you asking a question? You know, there will be a lot of money demanding for a few goods. And
That's simple economics.
But also the 72% was premeditated. Sometimes you members of the Fort Estate, you are not observant. If you looked at the campaign of candidate Museveni, throughout the campaign they were flashing figures. 12 million. It went up to 13 million. To prepare the minds of Ugandans about what was about to come. How would they have predicted that when the vote was not cast? So they had to work towards that 72%. And with all these flaws here, you know, the power of incumbency, the real criminality that happened within the electoral process, the one-sided electoral commission, you would really not be proud about the 72%. We have put our case before the public where the 72% comes, and it's really upon now Museveni to challenge what we are saying. It's upon him and his NRM.
Okay. Let's have 3 questions. They will be answered all together. Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm Mbale son from Shenda from Mbale Life Update. My question, for the previous elections, all the candidates who have competed with President 2027 have come out to say elections are not being fair, or they don't accept the outcome or the results. Do you think it's the right time to have electoral reforms? Why do I ask that? Because when we look, we have said Yabakam looks to be partisan. Do you think it's the right time to have electoral reforms as we forge for the way forward or for the next election? Because you said you are thinking maybe in the future I may not participate in the election, not because of the Electoral Commission being partisan. Thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Isaiah. Young, the work is impacted in Mbale. The question goes to Honorable Minister. If this has a good manifesto with good ideas which can take our country ahead, in case President Museveni appoints you as the Prime Minister, we bring him to work in the government of Uganda and we find that money in our pocket with such ideas.
Okay. That is the last question.
Mine is, you have a bleak picture of where the country is heading with these sham elections. What hope Ugandans have after this? Should we continue? What other methods can you think has worked for Ugandans? This, they are being pushed to the walls. What do you think will happen after that? In case they feel they no longer trust the electors and they can win.
He said, isn't it time for reforms? I have told you in 2016, Amama Mbale went to court. And he raised the issue that they need reforms. The Supreme Court agreed. Why haven't they done it? We went back with the same system, yet the Supreme Court raised the issues which Amama Mbale raised. Where did Amama Mbale come from? NRM. Are you getting me? Of course, now it's back there. I hope they're going it. So, what are you saying? If it's not done, I'm answering what he's saying. Ugandans not involved, they have already lost hope. If people lose hope, they are very dangerous. Let me give an example. If I have nothing I can lose, it's only, what is it? My life which I can put there, and because I've lost it. People will dare. They will do dangerous things. So if Ugandans lost hope, yes, they have lost hope. It's only remaining a small turning point. I'm telling all Ugandans get prepared, a spark is about to arise. Statistics shows the youth are more than what? The old men and the old women. In the current state, 86% depend on 14% for medical, for food, for education, for what? So teach the Quran. That's what I'm going to do. Do they pay people who teach Bibles and the Qurans? No. So I'm not looking for a job. The Quran says you should marry 4 women. I said, let us read it. And he came back and agreed with me. There's nowhere where the Quran says you'll marry 4 women. The Quran says 4 women. So by then, that's why I told you already. You are interpreting it what? Wrongly. But I know where he was. I can also teach him where to go and look for where women are. So I am here to teach the Quran.
Now that after that, response.